So you've purchased DayZ, and maybe it was because you watched a streamer who plays the game, or you just became interested in an open world survival zombie game, right? Now here's the thing about DayZ is anybody who you watch who streams the game and has lots of viewers on it has probably played thousands upon thousands of hours on this game, sometimes 10 to 20,000 hours. So they're very experienced with the game. Um, the first few hundred hours that you play on DayZ are really the most difficult, and especially the first 50 to 100 hours is sort of the make or break point in where people either continue to play the game or don't. So here's what we're going to do today as we're starting a new series. It's the DayZ lessons. So essentially, we're going to teach you how to play the game from start until farther along in the game so that you can understand how to simply survive so that, you can get to the more fun things like the player interaction, the gunfights, all of those things. So let's start with your controls. So I do recommend when you first start, you go ahead and you open up your controls. You go ahead and take a look at what exactly you have, so that you understand, what your controls actually do. Um, so, the main things are, your WASD, right? That's going to be how you move, and you're going to look with the mouse, right? The one thing you do need to know is, since your player is an actual player model, it's not going to be like you're not going to have like quick 180 whip and turn. Your player does have momentum whenever you're moving, so um, you do need to understand that. When you first start playing, it might feel clunky, but when you get used to it, it won't feel clunky anymore, and you'll understand how your player moves. So, the next thing is obviously shift is how you run, but control is how you walk. So if you hold control, you can walk. And this is important to know because if you were to break your leg, you do not have to crawl to the nearest tree to grab some sticks to make a splint. You can actually walk to it and you won't pass out from shock, which is important to know because leg breaks can happen from time to time. Now, the next thing is going to be how you use your weapons or anything that you may have in your hands. So let's say I just put this pear in my hands. If I hold right click, you're going to actually hold that up, right? So uh, let's just put that away. And that works for anything, guns or whatnot. So you hold right click, and that's how you essentially raise your quote unquote weapon. Now, left click, I'm currently left clicking. As you can see, it does nothing. But if I'm holding right click and I left click, you're going to see that that's how you use weapons, right? Um, Now, if you want to do, let's say, a power attack, you're going to hold shift while you're holding right click, and then you're going to do a power attack, right? And that costs more stamina, but it also does more damage. Now, pro tip, now in normal combat scenarios, like I said, left click does nothing, but there is the such thing as a running power attack, and this is like a not known by everybody kind of thing, but it is very useful to know because it gives you an upper hand in combat if you know it more than other people, and that is the running power attack. So you're going to sprint. And after a few seconds, if you just press left click, that's all you have to do. You just press left click, you do a power attack, and it has a long range on it. So if you're running after somebody, you can melee them in the back from pretty far away, and it works well. Um, so now with that being said, you obviously, okay, so the other things too is you have lean. You can lean left and right with Q and E. But you can also, if you are lying down and your stance change should be C, which mine is key binded to my mouse button because I find that to be a lot easier. So stance change, I have it on my mouse button. And if you do that, if you press Q and E, you can roll left and right. This is useful for rolling under fences that you might be stuck under, or rolling off of a roof. You never know what you might actually need. So now that we have some basic controls down, let's go ahead and we're going to start running around. Oh, another thing too, your middle mouse button. There you go. That's how you zoom, and this is actually probably my favorite button on any game, is that this zoom button is incredible. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to get moving, and whenever I get to a town, we'll pick back up and we'll start the next lesson.